works.
We'll see if it works. I'll try not to go too long today.
Oh. Yeah, my wife's on her way home. She wanted to have dinner at some point.
You guys alive?
She was like, so are you just going to be on it all night? And I was like, no, I don't know, can I?
Well, I mean, when there's a lot to talk about, I think that's okay. I think it's not terrible. I mean, people do enjoy listening to us. That's the cool thing that we figured out.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? We have for a while I thought that only 20 people ever listen to us, but I don't know, there's people that we've never met that are like saying hello and stuff.
Like that dude.
Yeah.
Are we live?
Yeah, we're live. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
yeah,
watch
that dude that messaged us.
Yeah, watch this. Margie gave me this tiny little water, right? This because I have a story to tell before we get really going, but she gave me this tiny little water, and then I was about to drink it, and then I realized that the way I was drinking it was pretty funny because normally you just take water, and the water's right at the top, and you just chug it back, right? But I don't want to spill this water, and so I took it with both hands like this, and I went like this, and I realized, oh my God, Donald Trump drinks water just like that.
Really?
Yeah. That might explain it. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to get trolled, but
yeah.
Now that it's off, now it's fine. Nothing wrong with it.
I thought you were just going to put your mouth over it and squeeze it.
Nah. I don't want to spill it. I don't want to spill it in the studio here. They have such a nice place here that I don't want to screw it up.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm drinking this little baby water is because I did something stupid today and decided that even though I haven't really ridden my mountain bike since the big accident in October when I hurt my ribs and stuff, that I was going to try to ride my bike from 147th and State to 13th and Cumming. And I got about 40 blocks in. I got to 99th and Fort, and I realized, you know what? I'm looking down at the clock, and I'm like, I don't think I'm going to make it. I don't think I'm going to make it on time. I think I'm going to be really late, actually. And then I was like, I need some water. And so I reached in to get my wallet in my jacket pocket, and I realized, oh, crap. I don't have my wallet on me. I left it in my truck. So I couldn't buy anything to drink. And then right at that moment, the three things happened pretty much all at once, and my left calf started to really cramp up really bad.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I better turn around because it was like 5, maybe 20 or so. And I'm like, if I turn around now, I think I can still get home by 6, get in my truck and be here on time. And so I did.
Yeah.
And then my buddy Mike saw me walking up this big giant hill because and he gave me a ride home. So I actually am pretty happy about that because I might not have been on time.
Wow.
There's just no good way to ride a bike from where I live into town. Because you're basically I have to take my life in my own hands because there's no bike trails or sidewalks even, basically from where I live until you get to about 108th Street. So there's 30 blocks of just traffic that you're hoping doesn't run into you while you're riding on the side of the road.
Yeah, Lincoln is pretty good for riding a bike.
Yeah,
I think there's bike trails everywhere, and bike lanes, but we don't have highway going through the middle of our town or interstate. You pretty much get on the highway, or everything's interstate or highway in Omaha.
Yeah,
but Lincoln's a small town that just kept growing out. You could take side streets everywhere.
I didn't want to be that guy either who was riding his bike in the middle of the road during rush hour traffic. I hate that guy.
Yeah.
So, and unfortunately, I left at 4:40, and I'm like, as I'm riding on the side of the road, I'm thinking to myself, oh, well, I am kind of being that guy. Luckily, I was going the opposite direction that everybody was coming home from work, But dude, that's one of the most annoying things on the planet. When you've worked all day and you're trying to just get home, and in the middle of a city street, there's some like biker dude with full spandex, stupid little hat, riding in the center of the road because he has a legal right to do that, but he's in the center of the road doing half the speed limit in front of people who just want to get home from a hard day's work.
Yeah.
That guy sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So I did not want to be that guy. And
it's even worse. Like guys do that in Lincoln, and there's a sidewalk right there.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like the worst.
It is the worst. So
like when I would ride my bike to the home office,
yeah,
you could take the bike path the entire way there. It was great.
See, and I've thought about riding my bike home, or not home, but to work before. But it's just State Street the whole way, and there's no bike lanes in State Street. So you're that guy, but then also you're taking your life in your hands because somebody could come up behind you and just whack you. And then if you drive on the wrong side of the road, going the other way, then somebody could full front smash into you too if they're not paying attention. So it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
That's why a scooter would be nice, honestly.
Yeah, there's a lot of them for sale right now. I've been finding them, and I was thinking about buying more.
Nice.
I don't know. I really want to get a Honda Monkey though, but
yeah,
it's like I don't know. I can buy like 5 scooters for what it costs to buy a Honda Monkey.
Yeah,
that Monkey's like $5,000 out the door.
Oof.
You know,
that's a lot.
As much as I'd like to go while I'm riding the Monkey around, because I would be like the entire time. Man. $4,800. I can buy a whole bunch of scooters.
Yeah.
And trick them out for that much.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no kidding.
I got a new air filter, too. This is my new air filter. It's Polini, too. Grazie. So.
Polini's a big name, isn't it? In motorsports, period?
No.
Not just in scooters?
Just scooters.
Oh, okay.
As far as I know.
Dan Johnson says, try living in Colorado and put up with bicyclists as you're trying to drive through the mountains. Yeah. I could see that too.
No, I won't try it.
Yeah, I don't want to try that either. Emerson and I still trying to figure out where we're going to go. Hang on a second. Let's start the show. Why don't we start the show? You want to start the show?
Oh, yeah, we should do that.
All right. Hey, guys. This is Alex Sturgeon with the Hobbytown Hobbyplex, and with me as usual,
Will Brinton.
And we're here to talk about mostly everything Hobbyplex, but maybe some race results today from Hobby Action. A couple of our local kids went there. And then, of course, some of our race results, and then we'll take some questions. As always, the rule is that if you want to get a question answered right away, you can super chat us. Otherwise, post your question, and we'll try to get to it at the end if we have time. So that being said, this program's always brought to you by Pivot Lending Group. You can find them at pivotlending.com. And if you get a hold of Don Zoller or Aiden Olson's dad, and you're able to hook yourself up with a home loan or refinance, you get $500 lender credit or 0.125 off of your interest rate. And I have thrown down a gauntlet that I thrown down on Saturday. So basically, I think at some point we've always had maybe up to 30 or so people watching this podcast on YouTube. And I thought, well, if we ever hit 50, that's a pretty good number. And
it's half of 100.
Yeah, exactly. And so I thought that we could do a giveaway. So if you're here and we get up to 50, make sure you put something in the comments, whether it be just a hello or whatever, and I can go back through and I can get everybody's name and I can draw your name for a gift card. I was thinking just a $20 gift card from Hobbytown. Yeah. I'll buy one, and we can send it out if we need to, or if it's somebody local, we can just hand it to them. But we got to hit 50 concurrent viewers, and I'm going to keep an eye on that. So, because we do get like the afterwards thing, I'm watching my analytics. This show usually gets about 150 to 160 views within a week.
Yeah, I posted something like if we get 50, somebody will get a gift card.
So. Exactly. So, let's talk about Hobby Action first. The replacement for the Cactus Classic has been the Desert Classic for a while, And I just got a text from my wife. Hang on.
Oh.
Hang on. So we had a leak in our roof, and our house is fairly. I mean, we built the house in 2007, so but we got the roof replaced not that long ago, and so Gretchen.
Really?
Yeah, Gretchen and I called the company and we're like, hey, we got a leak, and it's still under warranty, and so they came out and took a look at it today. And here's the thing. I'm not a morning person. I've never been a morning person. Anybody that comes to our races and sees me at 7 a.m. in the morning should know right away that I'm not a morning person. I don't want to be there at 7 in the morning, but I have to because that's my job. But when I have a day off, like my Mondays, I have almost every Monday off, and I like to sleep. I waste like half a day asleep usually. And so here I am. I'm getting a text at 8 a.m. in the morning. And here's what she said. She said, can you please let me know what they say? Sorry to wake you. I didn't know they were coming today. Please make sure they get up on the roof and make sure there are no holes or loose shingle. So basically, my wife knows that with me, if somebody's coming, I'm just going to be like, okay, yep, great, get it done. Thank you. I'm going to go back over here and go back to sleep. Mm-hmm. If it was Gretchen was home, she'd be all up in their business. Right?
Yeah. She'd be up there on the roof with them.
Yeah, she'd be out in the backyard with binoculars, making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do. Because she actually has had before somebody come to look at the air conditioner, and she took a video of it. The guy literally just sat next to the air conditioner and played with his phone for 45 minutes, and then came back in and billed us a full bill. Like he actually
Really?
didn't do anything. So she actually has proof that sometimes these guys don't do what they are supposed to do. But this roofing company is pretty legit, and I know the owner, so I know that they're not going to do that to us. Anyways.
Who you having do it?
Chapel Roofing? Chapel Roofing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's who put the roof on my house.
Oh, really?
2016.
Yeah.
I'd Kip do it.
Yep. Okay. Make sure they come inside to look also. And then she puts, by the way, I'm getting us both tested for sleep apnea. Just out of the blue. Just right?
Yeah. I have sleep apnea. I have a CPAP machine.
Yeah.
Everything.
My wife needs it, man. She is a train wreck at night.
Yeah, I rattle the windows if I don't have that bad boy. I need it. I needs it.
Okay. So then I basically just ignored those texts, and then I said if I ride if I ride my bike to the podcast, this is like 4 hours later. If I ride my bike to the podcast, will you pick me up? And she puts what time to pick up? And I go, I don't know, 8:30. She's like, with my car? And I'm like, because I'm kind of a dick. I'm like, no, with a horse and carriage.
Yeah. Oh, hilarious.
I thought it was funny. She did not think it was funny because her next text was, I'm not picking you up if you're going to be like that. And then I give her the address, and then I forgot to tell her that I actually did not ride my bike to the podcast. And so she just texted me now. She must know something. She goes, did you forget to tell me something? She probably got home and saw that my truck wasn't there. But she puts, did you forget to tell me something? And in fact, I did. So I should probably text her back real fast and tell her, in fact, that I don't need her to come get me. But she probably has figured it out by now. So
she hasn't listened to the show?
No, not really. I mean, sometimes she says she does, but no, not really.
My wife doesn't either. I don't blame her.
Yeah, I don't blame her either. Anyways, okay.
She gets enough of this 24-karat comedy on a daily basis. So.
Okay, so the replacement for the Cactus Classic is now known as the what is it known as? Desert Classic. There you
Desert
go.
Classic.
Desert Classic.
Yeah.
They still give awards that look like cactuses. Did you see that?
Yep, sure.
So everybody knows what it is, but they just can't call it that, right?
This
for legal
what's his
reasons.
Name? The guy. This the guy that used to own the Hobby Town there. Does he still own the rights to the name?
I believe that's what is the deal.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm pretty
That's weird how you could own the rights to an event. Like, who spends the money on that? But, oh, well. What do I know?
I mean, I remember when SRS changed hands, and I think that they legally had to get the rights to the name of the event.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, pretty sure.
That's really interesting logistically.
Yeah. So I want to talk about a couple of our locals that went there. One of them, Nate Sutherland.
Mm-hmm.
So Nate Sutherland doing his thing in the stock class. He's almost a shoo-in now for A mains at these things. You know?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
The Masters of Dirt. I mean, he was in the running for the actual stock Masters of Dirt thing title or whatever. Because
Really?
he made 13.5 truck and buggy A mains, and I think he got second in stock buggy. So I mean, he was a little bit of luck would have went his way. I mean, Al Moresco owned everybody at that race, but he was close enough where if he just would have had a little bit of luck on his side, he might have had given him a run.
AJ Marasco?
AJ Marasco, sorry, no.
Mm-hmm.
But he would have given
Sorry,
AJ.
AJ.
A run for the money. So,
Mm-hmm.
but either way, Nate Sutherland qualified 7th, finished 6th after the points. He edged out Frank Root, finishing 7th.
Ooh. Wow.
And some
That's saying something.
Zeke Bollinger got 4th.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, look at Joe Pillars making a main. Got qualified 10th, finished 11th, but still made the main. So
yeah, that's something.
Let's see. I think in 13.5, you had where is he at? Nate Sutherland qualified 9th, finished 4th.
Wow.
That's really good. And Zeke Bollinger taking the win.
I saw that. That's pretty awesome.
In 13.5 wheeler. How about Kyle Schmurr? Kyle Schmurr getting 3rd, qualified 3rd, finished 3rd. Kyle was here for the INS race.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah. That is great. Let's see. And then where's our let's see, is it I don't see truck in here. And then let's get into the mod classes. So 2-wheel mod, one of our guys, Tom Rindernecht, qualified 8th, finished 8th in 2-wheel. And Spencer TQ'd in 1. Dakota was qualified 3rd, got 2nd. How about Aiden Horn, qualifying 2nd, getting in the top 3 against the big boys? I mean, look at these names behind him. Dustin, Ryan Cavallari, Ron Duvall, Ryan Mayfield, Austin Wick making the main because they run slicks there.
Mm-hmm.
Austin's a slick fan.
Yeah, he's a slick man.
And then 4-wheel drive, again, Tom Rindernecht making the main, finished 8th. And then in this one, you saw Dakota Fend, qualified 3rd, finished 1st. That's pretty cool.
Wow.
Cavallari with a good top 3. Qualifying 4th, finished 2nd. So the Losi car's taking the top 2 in 4-wheel mod. And then it was Spencer, Aiden Horn with a 4th, Mayfield with a 5th, Evans, Ron Duvall, Blake Champlin, Lee Setzer, Austin Wick making the main again. How about that? Qualified 10th, finished 11th. I think Lee Setzer got the bump. He ended up finishing 10th. So, and then I don't know where Aiden Olson finished. Is there a way to search that on here while we're doing this? Just a driver?
I don't know.
I don't know either. But Aiden Olson went to this race too. And I'm trying to find the B main of 2-wheel mod just to see if that's what he was in. Here's 4-wheel drive. Let's see if Aiden's in this one. Oh, yep, look at that. Much more modified 4-wheel drive B made. Aiden Olson was your BQ, finished 2nd behind Lee Setzer.
Oh,
Yeah.
so close.
Yep, just missed it. And then where's the 2-wheel mod B main? Here it is. Let's see if he made the B there too. Yep, there he is. Qualified 10th, finished 7th, so he moved up.
That's pretty good.
Yep, just beat out Scott Spear, who I haven't seen in ages. Very long time, actually. So there you go. I think those are our locals that went to that race. And, Hobby Action's got probably what you would consider to be like one of the best facilities in the whole country.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
They have carpet there too, don't they?
no.
No. Okay.
No.
Then I'm mistaken.
It's they're strictly dirt. It's a desert dirt. They run slicks pretty much all the time. Their place is known for being like very clean. Their hobby shop is it's cool. I've seen pictures of it. It's like it's on the side of the thing, and it stretches out really long, and there's a lot of space. There's not a whole lot of clutter everywhere. I mean, they do a really good job down there.
Oh yeah.
I feel like the Hobbyplex is also one of the better facilities in the country, but because we have so many different racing that we do, and we
do it all.
And our shop is more along the lines of a traditional, I'd say, mom and pop shop where there's just stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's definitely like man cave-ish.
Like you walk into leisure hours, right? And you're like, wow, this place has been here for a while. Look at all this stuff they have. I think that it's that way it's definitely that way with us. And we try to keep everything organized. I mean, luckily the people who work here at the Plex know where everything's at too. That helps. And that's one thing about having everything behind the computer too. So
yeah, if you think about it, like how many parts for dead cars are there? You know, that we end up getting stuck with and things like that. You know?
Yep.
Like that's something to think about. Like since we've been around for so long now.
Yeah.
It's weird to think about, but yeah, we've been around for a long time.
Yeah. I was able to dump a lot of like just completely dead stock parts off of eBay a couple years ago. Really helped clean the place up a lot. We had so many old parts, and most of that stuff's been gone now.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like RC10 parts. It was like stuff nobody wanted.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there was like...
It wasn't anything sought after.
There was like a couple $100 of like Sportworks cars parts.
Yeah.
You know? I have a question for you. Here's my question.
Okay.
Why do so many people drop their cars off to get fixed and not know what kind of car they have?
Maybe they got it as a gift.
Okay. That's a good one.
That's my first thought. Like Dad got a RC truck for Father's Day.
Right.
And like Mom comes in, I just want an RC truck. You know?
Yeah.
And they sell him an RC truck, and he's got an RC truck now. You know? That's the only thing I could really think of. Or they bought it from somebody used, and they didn't know what they were buying.
I do see quite a bit of that. I also see quite a bit of they bought it from somebody used, and the person who they bought it from told them that it was a different vehicle that it actually was not.
Yeah,
I see that a lot.
It becomes like people used to call 2-wheel drive buggies RC10s.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah.
Like, oh, it's an RC10. Yeah. But you know, it's a little different now. But.
This poor guy brought in a crawler, and he's like, I got an SCX10. And this SCX10 2, and I needed some parts for it. And I'm looking at this thing going, dude, that's not an SCX10 2. In fact, I don't even know what that is. Like, it was some off-brand Amazon thing. And he's like, well, the guy said it was an SCX10 2. That's got to be what it is. I'm like, nope, it's not. Then I showed him what an SCX10 2 looks like, and he's like, that son of a blankety blank. I'm going to go get my money back. And then that same car ended up being online again.
Yeah.
Like not that long afterwards. But it was under the right thing. Like there was like some Amazon thing.
There's this guy when I worked at Hobbytown that he bought it was an LST, maybe an LST2. I don't remember if it was an LST or LST2, but it was definitely an LST. And the guy bought it and he paid $600 for it used. From some guy, like he was doing work at like a trailer court somewhere or something. This guy was running around and the guy like talked to him. The guy was talking about how he wished he could sell it because he like owed people money or something, or he like needed the money.
Yeah.
The guy felt bad for him and bought it, thinking it'd be cool to have anyway. And like the engine was blown up. It needed a clutch. It needed like the pipe was dinged. It needed a tank, all this other stuff. And Jamie sold him a brand new one. Like that's how good at selling stuff he was. He was like, by the time you fix this thing, you could have just had this.
Yeah.
So he actually sold the dude a brand new LST like across the shelf, and he was like $1,200 deep in this thing, because those were like those were like $550 trucks.
Yeah.
I remember right. They were
even back then
for
they were
a
a lot.
monster truck. Yeah.
It's so crazy to me how like I'll get a call and they'll be like, "Hey, I need this part," and they don't know what to call the part, right? And so then you got to go through the decipher. Okay, what are we talking about here? And the first thing I ask is, okay, well, what kind of car is it? And like maybe 60% of the time, the person on the other end of the line has no idea what kind of car they have. And so then I'm like, okay, well, why don't you just bring it in? That's my thing, because I'm like, I can't help you if you don't know what kind of car you have.
Well, they need to buy the part anyway, so
they might as well.
It ensures the fact that they're going to buy from their local hobby shop.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The other one that gets me is when somebody's picking up their car that we've worked on, and they still don't know what kind of car they have.
Oh.
So because I'll be like, I want to go back and grab the car. I'm like, oh, well, which car was it? And they're like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, what's your name? And then you go back and you look at every single one so you can find the name, which is fine. Not a huge deal. It'd just be a lot easier if they knew what kind of car they had.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it blows our mind, but I mean, when you think of like the one night stand style RC car guys, like they get a car, they run it up and down their street, maybe a couple battery packs, maybe a gallon of fuel, and then it sits in the garage on a shelf or in a closet for a year.
Why do guys have their significant other, either girlfriend or wife or whatever, make the phone call to the hobby store and then proceed to yell the questions out behind said significant other, and then that significant other basically repeats verbatim the question, and then I give the answer, and then they yell out to their significant other behind them the answer, and so basically I'm having a conversation that should be between two people on the phone that ends up being between three people on the phone.
Yeah.
Why does that happen?
Not written. I don't know. We had a guy that would come into the store, and he had a Revo, and it would need like a part or a thing, whatever. And he would be in the store. The guy would be in the store, like walking around, and his wife would bring the truck over to us and have us look at it and fix it or whatever it needed.
Yeah.
And go through it. And he wouldn't talk to us ever. It was bizarre. And it was his truck, because I thought, well, maybe it's her truck. Maybe she's in, monster trucking.
Yeah.
And I said, is this your truck? And she said, no, it's my husband's. So I was like, oh, well, does he know what he wants? And she said, I don't know. Let me go ask him. Thinking like she'd call. Yeah. Then she like walked across the store and went and talked to him and then came back. But this was the case like every single time they were in the store. Like he wouldn't like be involved with the conversation. It was so weird.
That is a weird one.
Yeah.
The phone call thing happens so often that it's kind of become a trope at the Plex. Not just at the Plex. I think at any hobby store, I bet you. Actually, probably any retail store, it probably happens a lot more than just us.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet.
But it's pretty funny when it does. And then I'm still like, why don't you guys just bring it in? I'm tired of having a conversation between three people. Because you ever play that game when you were a kid where you like make a circle in the classroom, and then you're supposed to like tell somebody one thing into their ear, and then they pass it on to the next person, they pass it on. And then by the time it gets around to the end of the line, the story is completely different.
Yeah, like telephone.
Yeah, I feel like that's like what that's like when you're trying to go back and forth between several people. Yeah.
We had this one like really like weird kid that would come into the store. Not to go off on another tangent, but it's like he had like a nitro rustler, and his mom like was like frantic, like trying to figure it out. Like they'd come in at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or whenever we closed on a Sunday. They'd come in at like 10 minutes late, or 10 minutes till we closed, and they got a pull start for it. It had the easy start, and they wanted to delete the pull start,
Right.
or the easy start, and they got a pull start because the easy start needed to be replaced or something. And they got it, and I was like, we figured it out. It's like 5:30, and I'm like, as soon as I walk out, I lock the door behind him, and I go to start counting the register finally, and she like comes running back to the door and banging on the door, and I'm like, yes, and she said, she hands me the pull start, and it's all like sprung apart or whatever, and I was like, dude. And she said, "What happened? It's destroyed. It's defective. I need another one." I said, "Well, you're not supposed to do that to them. Like, they have to be on the engine before you can start pulling them.
Yeah.
Or they'll spring apart like that. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you'll have to come back and get another one some other time. I already shut the drawer down. Like, yeah, it was funny. They were in another time, but I have another story. Just remind me some other time. I'll tell you that one.
Okay. Yeah, the pounding on the door people bug me.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
Like, what wasn't that long ago? There was, so a lot of times on like a Friday night or a Thursday night, we'll shut the store down, but there'll still be racing going on, or like a Wednesday night even, right? And we had done this one night, and there was a lot of people there playing on the dirt track, and this poor guy earlier had gotten his car just demolished by somebody, probably going the wrong way on the track or whatever, which is why we call it open track. We don't call it open practice, because you really can't practice Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. I mean, you kind of can if you're lucky, but most of the time it's such a melee out there that you don't really, it wouldn't be good practice for you and me, put it that way.
Nah.
So, but this gentleman thought that he had left his car in the store, and I looked around all over for it, and I'm like, no, I'm sorry. And then like 10 minutes later, I'm counting the drawer in the back, and I hear just bam, 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 bam. This guy wouldn't stop banging on the back door for like 4 or 5 minutes straight.
Mm-hmm. Like the back door, like by the
blue
dumpster?
door. Yeah, the blue door.
Oh, the blue door? Okay.
Yeah. To the track.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's got to be annoying to the people racing on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Right? And so finally I come out, I'm like, what do you need? What's going on? And he's like, I cannot find my car anywhere. And I'm like, well, it's not up here. Sorry. And it turns out he actually had his family had actually taken the car and put it in the other car. It was pretty funny. But at least he called back the next day and said, I found it. It's in my car.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah, because normally it's they don't even tell us. Like they're almost like embarrassed.
Yeah, I would be. I mean, if it were me, I'd have been embarrassed.
This one time at a before I was working in a hobby store, I was a meat clerk at the grocery store, and I had handed over like $50 of crab legs to this lady, and I had and then I had like gone on break or something like that, and I just caught this lady out of the corner of my eye taking these $50 worth of crab legs, and they're supposed to be cold. They're supposed to stay cold, and she put them on a shelf in like the cookie aisle, and and then like picked up a cookie or so. She decided that she didn't want the $50 in crab legs, so instead of taking the $50 in crab legs back to the butcher shop so that I could unravel them and put them back, which I honestly, I'm not sure if I would have been legal.
I don't know if you could do that.
I don't know if I could legally be obligated to do that anyways, but at least they would have been, back where they in the cold or whatever. She put them in like the cookie aisle where it's warm and dry. And so I saw this, and so I decided that today's the day. This was towards the end of my run before I changed jobs. Today's the day I'm going to make a stand for the meat shop. And so I grabbed those $50 worth of crab legs, and I followed this woman, and before she like turned, it's like with those things they do now on YouTube where they mess with people in Walmart. Yeah. I put the crab legs back in her basket while she wasn't looking.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then I watched her some more, and she saw him, and she's like, what? She's like startled. And she looked around, and then she picked them back up and put them back on another shelf. And so then I followed her. I like watched her again, grabbed the crab legs, and then waited until she got into the checkout aisle, came up behind her and went, "Ma'am, I think you forgot these."
Yeah. That's funny.
She was mad. She was mad at me.
Did she pay for them?
No, she did not. She's like,
God.
"Oh, I didn't." She's like, "Oh, I didn't want those." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." I'm like, "Well, just bring it back to the meat department next time."
Yeah.
Like
that's a pretty big ticket item to
dude,
just like.
that happened all the time at the grocery store. It still does. Still does. Because you'll see like family packs of pork chops just kind of hanging out in the juice aisle. And you're like, a decision was made here to trade pork chops for some like a 20 pack of high C or something like that.
Yeah. One time when I was a kid, I was with my dad at the grocery store, and there was a family of 3, and they had a case of beer and 2 gallons of milk, and they didn't have enough money for both, and they put the milk back. They had a baby. My dad was like, holy cow, like, baby ain't got no milk. Anyway.
I found one of those. There was like a box of condoms and something at a Walmart once.
Nice.
I took a picture. I took a picture of it, and I was like, a decision was made here, and I put that on Reddit under the decision was made subreddit, hoping that it would go viral. Didn't go viral. Nobody really thought that it was that funny, and I'm like, how can you not think this is funny? This is hilarious.
The condoms were, well, I guess they're already in that aisle. I don't know. I don't buy them.
Must not have been too funny because I don't remember what they were traded for.
Oh, yeah.
So whatever.
I mean, it's like, I was gonna say it would have been funny if they were traded out for like a pregnancy test.
Yeah.
Like those are already in the same aisle, aren't they?
Yeah, that would be a pretty funny decision was made here.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Anyway.
All right. Well, we're going to get into results real quick here after. Maybe we should do a pivot lending break.
Yeah, we probably should. I don't know.
Yeah, because we're 37 minutes in. If we do the results, then we can get into questions. We're going to be in a pretty good show. Right now, we've hovered at 31 people watching at the same time. So it's got to be at the same time. So we're at 30 right now. So use the pivot lending break. Well, no, you should watch the listen to the pivot lending break, but at the same time, text your buddies to get on the show so I can see that number jump up to 50 just one time so that I can take these names and give out a gift card.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, here we go.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Yeah!
This is a Pivot Lending Update with David Olson and Don Zoller. Get some.
This is David Olson with a Pivot Lending Update. Just want to kind of give you guys some of the activities going on in the conforming markets, some of the government markets, non-conforming jumbo markets. Now that we're into 2021, and here we go. Conforming loan limits have increased. So if you're looking for Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, new loan limit is $548,250. So you can take a loan on up to that amount. In the high cost areas, so for example, a lot of the counties contiguous to like Denver, some of the bigger metro areas, and Denver itself, high loan limit is $822,375. So those are the new lending loan limits for conforming. In the government world right now, we have FHA loans. We can lend up to $356,362. So if you're looking for an FHA loan, you now can go up to $356,362. It's really good. That's about almost $100,000 more than we were at 5-6 years ago. Used to be around the 271 mark. VA loans, you can go up to the same as the conventional 548, 250. Jumbo loans are 548, 251, all the way up to 3 million. So we do a pretty good job in that space actually too. We have offices in some heavily populated areas of jumbo land out in Southern California, Scottsdale. We're now entering into New England. So if you happen to be in that jumbo territory, we've got some really, really, really good jumbo rates. VA, again, that was the 548, 250. The last thing is USDA. USDA income limits have increased now in 2021. The new limit starts at $90,300 and tiers off at $132,050. Those are based on your household sizes. So the number of head in the household that gets you into that program. USDA is really nice. It is populations 25,000 and less for your city or town size. There are a few counties in Nebraska that are grandfathered in, a few areas or cities, I should say. Norfolk and Columbus exceed that, but you can still get the USDA programs, I believe. You can also get into the USDA programs, which USDA is 100% financing. So it's very similar to the VA program. There are a few unique program guidelines that they offer. For example, if the appraised value is higher than the purchase price, you can actually borrow up to 100% of the appraised value to include in your closing costs. So that's pretty cool. All right, so those are kind of the updates for the loan limits and income limits going into this year. If you have any questions on those, make sure that you reach out to either myself or Dawn. I know that the guys on the podcast, Alex and Will, tend to say that I'm out and about a lot, and which is true, but I always have my cell phone on, 402-881-5951, or reach out to Don Zoller, of course. I can get back to you and give you some updates on what you're looking for, and then get you with Dawn if she's unable to answer the phone.
David Olson, NMLS 16099. Don Zoller, NMLS 277589. Pivot Lending, NMLS 109995.
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
All right. Well, we just got our first super chat of the show. Nick Nuthouse, $10.
Nice.
He got his stickers Friday, which I'm out of stickers.
Nice.
I got to reorder. I got to order another 50. So the minimum is 50. So I've just I'm going to order another 50.
That's a good deal.
Yeah. How freaking awesome. This is what he says. How freaking awesome that we had 50 Plex Spec drivers on Friday. And also that the Friday group is the best. Had an issue with my soldering job coming loose. Would have been done for the night, but people got me fixed. So that's good.
That's great.
Yeah. I have like 3 soldering irons floating around downstairs somewhere. They just keep getting passed around. And
yeah, isn't it weird that to think of it at RC car race that it's hard to find somebody without an iron?
Yeah, I know.
You know?
I'm going to crack open my liquid sugar here. I'm sorry to cut you off before that pivot landing break, too. I know you wanted to say some more.
Oh, I was just going to say 50 viewers at the same time, man. Like off his face.
Oh, man. I've been saving that. Okay, so we're up to 29. Now we're back down to 23, and it's going up again, so that's good. Okay. The super chat actually leads us into results. I'm going to get through the results pretty quickly, but I did want to say, how about Friday night, man? We had 49 Plex Speckers, a new record for Plex Spec.
That's awesome.
That is insane. How many beginners we have on Friday. And again, I love Fridays because nobody cares. Like the track, it doesn't matter what condition the track is. Some people are concerned about how long things can get, but that's only because the more people we get, the longer the race program runs. So,
yeah.
But other than that, like it's great because nobody cares. There was a group of like 8 chatty girls that were in the store that I had to kick out at 8 o'clock. I was like, okay, because I had listened to him for like an hour, and it was like fingernails on a chalkboard.
Yeah.
Made me happy I didn't have a girl.
I thought you were gonna be like, oh man, I hope they're not talking about me.
Oh no. No. They were like, they had to be like anywhere from 8 to 12 maybe. And they were just nonstop chatter for the whole hour. And I was just like, this has got to end soon. So I sent him downstairs. I'm like, go be loud and chatty with your parents.
Go exist somewhere else, please.
Yeah, please go somewhere else. Yeah. So anyways, so we had A, B, C, and D main and Plex Spec. For the night, you had, looks like Steve Wall taking the win. Caleb Tolberg, a lot of familiar names here for Friday nights. So Caleb Tolberg with a second, Josh McMullen was third. McMullen and his daughter came out to race. That was pretty cool. Paul Yoder, fourth. Joshua Rothfuss was fifth. Mason Corbin was sixth. Jacob Yoder was seventh. Andrew Thomas was eighth. And Jacob Tolberg was ninth. We're going to talk about Andrew Thomas again on Saturday. They did the twofer. And then there was a four-wheel drive class. Sam Saunders beat out his dad, Troy, and then Josiah Roby was there. Thought he was just working on his car. I didn't know he was actually racing. Then there was a buttload of, one of my favorite words to say, by the way, but of buggies there. So we had, I think there was...
Buttload of buggies?
Yeah, I think there was 11 cars total. Some of them either broke out early or went home, but Emerson actually came out to race and TQ'd over Jackson. And then Jackson got him in the main. But
nice.
So what happened was it was going to be a lot closer of a race. It ended up being 14 seconds, but Emerson was doing the back jumps, that double quad. And unfortunately, this kid decided that he was trying to do a good job at corner marshal, but he also wasn't looking at who was coming. And he jumped right in front of Emerson, and Emerson pegged him right in the boob.
Really?
Yeah. And it must have hurt because this kid, I felt so bad because I was just watching the race, and I felt so bad because this poor kid was basically holding his lower boob the whole time as he was walking back.
Yeah.
He straight up took the hit, bent over, looked around, came right off the track, and Emerson was still there. Emerson actually he hit this kid so hard that Emerson's body came off.
Oh God.
So sorry, poor kid. I felt bad.
Yeah.
But kind of like when Emerson was younger, I'm like, well, he'll learn.
Yeah, but he doesn't do that again.
Yeah, but he doesn't do that again. So Jackson took the win overall. Emerson was second. I think Jackson and Emerson are both running mods. I think Troy Sanders, who finished third, I think he won the stock racing. So it was Troy, Sam, Nick, Trey Wysocki, Lance Murray, Sheldon Portnell, and then a whole bunch of people that didn't make the race. And then finally, they had a small group of what they called e-buggies, but it was really just like this massive mixed bag of different vehicles. Rex Ebel, Trey Wysocki. I know Trey was running probably his mini Truggy. He might have been running his e-buggy, actually. Wyatt Ebel. Those are the kids that come with Rob from like the Fort Dodge area. Yeah. And then Steve Wall finished fourth in this one. Jackson Anderson didn't start. But the big news about Friday was that we had almost 50 plexers, which has never happened before. So that's really good. Then we follow that up with Saturday Speed Off-Road, which had 85 entries for the day. And we still had I think we had like 15 or 16 plexers.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was still a very busy day. It was beautiful out. So we opened up a few doors near the entrance so we didn't dry the track out. But it did feel pretty nice in there. So Plex Spec, Eli Webb. Eli and his bro, Cole, have been coming and practicing like two nights a week now on Mondays and Thursdays. And every once in a while I'll see him on a Wednesday. So they're getting laps in, which is really good. So Eli from the 6th position, taking the win in Plex Spec. Andrew Thomas driving the Super Bandit. His car looked so good. Like he's running proper tires for a Bandit. And you normally don't see a Bandit be able to take on our track very well. And but dude, Andrew was that little Bandit was doing really good. Then Dalton Conrad qualified first, finished third. So Dalton, I think they might have been there on a Friday too, but Dalton did really good. They drive like a 4-wheel drive Rustler with really good tires. It works really well. And then Grace and Stevie qualified third, finished fourth. Ariana Smith with her dad got her a buggy, so she's basically running mod buggy and Plex spec. She qualified fifth, finished fifth, man. Kara Gannon, Kyle's wife, finished sixth. Eli Vanderbeek finished seventh. Cole Webb was eighth. Alexander Eckler was ninth, and Jake Conrad was 10th. And again, all these guys finished too, so that's what we want. On a side note, the Webb brothers, Eli and Cole, both are pretty happy to go corner marshal too whenever we need extras.
That's good.
I gave him some stickers afterwards. That's where my last 2 sticker sheets went, actually. I gave him stickers for volunteering so often.
Do they listen to the show?
Yeah, I think they do, actually. Yeah, pretty sure.
That'd be cool.
13.5 4-wheel drive. This one was pretty competitive all day. Owen Vanderbeek qualified second, finished first. Orlando Martinez qualified third, finished second, and Dustin Hosick was the TQ but finished third. But it was between those three. It was going to be between those three anyways. Yeah. Ronnie Wint had a good day, qualifying sixth, finished fourth. Poteet was fifth. Brian Keever was sixth. Rob Connor was seventh. Lance Murray running 13.5 wheeler instead of Plex spec, finishing eighth. Didn't finish last. So Andy LaChance was ninth, and Jason McLaren was in this one. He actually, I believe he led maybe the first 2 laps, and then his car broke. So that kind of sucked for him. And then Phil Beardsher didn't start, but he did run his qualifiers.
Yeah. It's cool to see Phil at the track.
Yeah, totally. Kind of trying to have some fun again.
Mm-hmm.
And then 4-wheel drive mod was right after that, and Vanderbeek kind of just sort of walked away from everybody here in this one. Mitchell Pavel qualified third, finished second. Rico, Chad Karstens qualifying second, finished third. Tommy Smith was fourth. Chad Hartshorn was fifth. Dylan Hartshorn was sixth, and John Haas didn't start this one. I'm pretty sure his car was broken from the previous qualifier. So the first triple scoop race, Mac Vanderbeek qualifying second but finished first. Wade Gehring qualified first, finished second. And I think Mac has taken 2, so that means he gets an ice cream. He gets some ice cream. He's gonna get an ice cream gift card.
Oh, there you go.
Brian Cox finished in third. Yeah, I think he had a pretty good start because I think the Mac and Wade were both crashing early, and I think Brian actually got up there pretty quickly and led for a little bit. And then Justin Seaby was fourth, Brian Burnt was fifth, Brady Papanow was sixth, and Dan Johnson with his new truck was seventh, and Phil Palmer was eighth. And then stock buggies, we had expert stock. Orlando Martinez from the 3 spot taking the win. Jackson Anderson only finished a few seconds behind him, had the TQ but finished second. Dustin Hosick was third. Jason McLaren was fourth. Brian Keever was fifth. Rob Connor was sixth. Ronnie Wint was seventh. Daniel Bender running buggy. His buggy looked really good.
Yeah.
Moving up from Plex spec and racing both buggy. I think he raced both expert and independent.
Yeah. I think he did too.
Yeah. And then Kinzer and Jason did not start. Had some trouble early. Then we move on. So mod buggy, your race. Alex took this one. He had the TQ, not by much, but he got the TQ, and then ended up finishing like 12 seconds ahead of you. You finished second. Jeremy Fellows was third. Basically, the top 3 exactly how he qualified. Owen Vanderbeek from the 7 spot up to the 4. Kyle Gannon ran into like a brick wall out there. Actually, he moved up a spot from where he was, but he was even higher than that too. For a little while. And then Rico was 4th. Tommy Smith was 7th. Brian Cox was 8th. Brian Burnt was 9th. And Jackson Anderson broke out. And I remember that happening because it was loud.
Yeah. I think he clobbered the back wall.
Yeah, he did. So tell us about this one because I thought you were in it to win it and then not.
Yeah, I passed Alex on the first lap. And we kind of got together, and I went way back and drove up to second. I probably was closer. I crashed on the last lap on the back quad.
Yeah, you did.
And because I felt like I was reeling them in for a little while. But I don't know. I mean, it was a good race. It could have been a lot better. But
still finished second. I mean, you know.
Yeah. I know. I'm sick of second.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But oh well, there's another one in a couple weeks. So
Jeremy Fellows did good. I think he fell back
Yeah, he
too.
did.
He fell back too, and then drove up back to get third. I think he was towards the back at the second or third lap.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually a chart
Yeah.
down here that'll show you that. I guess I should look at that. Yeah, I mean he was all the way down to 8th for the first 2 laps, and then drove back to get third. So.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, Indy Buggy had Steven Smith, your second place finisher from the INS race, taking the win. Andy LaChance was second. Justin Stevie was third from the 5 spot. Brady Papanow was 4th. Jake Poteet was 5th. Phil Palmer was 6th. Jason Haley was 7th. Trey Wysocki was 8th. Dan Johnson was 9th. And Lance Murray was 10th. And I think Lance went home or something. Maybe he broke. I can't remember.
I don't remember either.
Yeah, I
He's
don't
pitting
remember.
right next to me,
Yeah.
or across from me, across and next,
Yeah.
caddy corner. But yeah, I don't know if he broke or what.
And then Mini Truggy finally had me TQ and win. I did crash a little bit early and give up the lead to Wade for a little bit, and then Wade finally wrecked over that quad, and then I was able to just mind my own business after that.
Yeah.
Jake Poteet with a solid second. Wade Gehring had third. They were close pretty much the whole race after that. After I got around Wade, I think Jake was actually catching Wade, and then eventually kind of traded up wrecks. John Haas was 4th. Ronnie Went was 5th, and Trey Wysocki was 6th. And that kind of concludes that day. Felt good to get out and drive, though.
Yeah.
I like Mini Truggy. It's just fun. And my
Oh,
truck
it looks like a
My
blast.
truck works pretty darn good too, and I was debating whether or not I was going to run it at all because I don't know when golds are going to get back in stock for ellipses, so I didn't want to waste them. I want to save them for the spring race,
Yeah.
which we need to announce that too on here. I almost forgot about that. That's important. But before we do that, we should talk about on-road real fast. Just get out of the way, because then we can go straight to questions.
Okay.
So on-road racing. So we followed a big day on the Friday, followed by a big day on Saturday. And then as far as entry count goes, on-road is actually pretty good. There was 55 entries on Saturday or Sunday.
That's pretty good for as nice as it was this weekend and everything too.
Yeah, and it was the last Winter Series race. So they handed out awards afterwards. They usually start USGT right off. So here's the deal. I was doing a video on the Tamiya TA07. So I didn't actually run my normal X-Ray car in USGT. I ran my Tamiya car. And I ran it with the Tamiya spec. So it has that sonic motor in it, which I think is timing-wise is actually not as set as high as the gravity motor is. I'm pretty sure the gravity motor is way higher, like faster than the sonic motor, as far as locked-in bell handout motors go. So kind of was already at a disadvantage with that. But then I was also running the Tamiya tires, which I don't think are as grippy as the gravity ones either.
What compound? A?
I don't know. Whatever we have in stock at the store.
Dude, the Tamiya compound to run when
C compound.
That's
C
what I was
compound.
gonna say. That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah,
Normally,
they're C
but that
compound.
was on gray carpet when I was doing it.
Right.
But yeah, you could run those like all the way down to like the belt, like the belting or the webbing in the tire.
Mm-hmm.
Then they just get better they'd get better as they got to that too.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So to be honest with you, I kind of already had this class locked up. All I had to do was show up, because I've only missed one, and the guys that I needed to look out for it had actually missed multiples. So there was no real way for me to lose other than me not showing up. So I wanted to race it because I wanted the best way, in my opinion, to learn about a car is to actually be in a race.
Yeah, that's when the track's going to be there.
That too. I was frustrated Saturday because the track was just coated with dust, so I couldn't learn anything about my car anyways. So I was just like,
did it get better with those changes we made once the grip came up?
It did. Yeah, the car actually is setup wise. The car's pretty good. I took away some toe, so I jacked as much toe in the back as I could into that car. I lowered the roll centers as high as it could go. in both the front and back, and I gave the car a bunch of front kick up in the front. Just because the car was so like it wouldn't move, like it just drifted around the track, and so it was good. The first qualifier, I was actually like, okay, now I just got to get the gearing right. This car actually handles pretty good. Well, then I thought, let's free the car up. So I took some toe out of it for the main, and that was the wrong thing to do. It went totally backwards. It was slower and harder to drive. So I think that car and how much twist that thing has because of how much plastic is in it, I think it's going to have that toe in the back. There's just no way around it.
Did you leave the droop screws out of the rear?
Yeah, well, that thing's full droop. I'm letting that baby roll. So
that T05 I had, that thing would only work with the droop screws out, just no droop screws in the rear, and a lot of travel.
So Mike Clement got a TQ and a win. Kenny McKinney finished second. Dennis Raridan was third. It really wasn't that close. I could kind of see him out of the corner of my eye. I got lapped by Kenny twice, I think, on the track. I know I got lapped by Mike twice. Jason Rager got around me at about the 4-minute mark. That's when the car started to really go away too.
Mm-hmm.
I finished fifth.
Front tires probably heated up.
Yeah, I finished fifth, and then Jaden Rieger finished sixth. Jaden was all over me early, and he got by me once, and then he hit the pipe, and then he almost got by me again, and then he hit the pipe. He kept hitting pipes as he was getting close to me, and then his dad ended up passing both of us. So, but like I said, in this class, the top three for the season ended up being me, Kenny, and Dennis. So. Got a nice little podium picture and a trophy.
I just opened the water with this clutch spring tool.
Oh,
that I
wow.
got.
That's amazing. That's talent.
Yeah.
TCS, Spec A main. So these are TTO2s, and they all kind of got to run the same thing. There was a lot of them. So you had Jim Hungate getting the win, Mark Ebner TQing and getting second. Ben Seidlich was third. Tom Quinn Inslee was fourth. Ron Chapluski was fifth. Barry Eveland was sixth. Lance Chapluski was seventh. And Charles Randall was eighth. And I have no idea where they ended up finishing in the points. Maybe I should look one day. So, other than USGT, nobody's going to get the points here. They can talk about it later. 12 scale. Ooh, there was a B main of 12 scale. That's great.
That's almost unheard of.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Pro 10. So these are 10 scale pan cars. And they're going really fast. Your fast lap in Pro 10 was a 9.5. And to put that in the perspective, the USGT fast lap was a 12.0.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mike, that's moving.
That is moving. That's very fast. Mike Clement, TQ and win. Kobe Krell was second. Benjamin Fenton was third. Will Frericks was fourth. Jason Schald was there out of quarantine, finishing fifth. And Charles Randall with a DNS. Then Vintage Trans Am had Chris Tyler with a TQ and a win. Dennis Raridan was second. Tony Cook was third. Jay Hines getting up there with fourth. Jason Rager was fifth. Barry Evelyn was sixth. Ben Seidlich was seventh. Looks like Ken McKinney had a DNS in this one. And Euro Truck, those TTO ones that you're not allowed to make any changes with, there was just four of them. Chris Tyler
That's a bummer.
Beat out Tim by a lap. Tim Ski. Mark Brigatti was third, and Barry Evelyn was fourth. And then Formula One. If I was going to race an additional class in on-road, this would be the one. This is really the only thing that really interests me. Other than touring car. Tony Cook, TQ and a win. Ken McKinney qualified fourth, finished second. Jason Rager was third. Dennis Raridan was fourth. Olin Hines was fifth. Jim Hungate was sixth. Mark Ebner was seventh, and Mason Ebner was eighth. And then finally, 12 scale, last race of the day, had Mike Clement doing the triple, TQ and a win. Their fast lap was a 10.2. So those 10 scale pan cars must have a really hot motor in them. Not even sure what it would be, but it's got to be faster because 12 scale is usually the fastest on the track.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Tyler finished second from the 5 spot, so that's really good. Benjamin Fenton was third. Jay Hines was fourth. Jason Schald was fifth, and Kobe Krell was sixth. And that kind of concludes our race weekend. So another really good, just a good normal club racing week. So next week's the Techno Series finale. And that'll be fun. Hopefully Kenny gets
Yeah.
my body done so I can race e-buggy.
That'd be cool.
I saw that Chad Parks is in the chat. So
that leads me up to my announcement.
So go ahead,
Hey,
Will.
So I says to myself when I'm driving home from work today, I says, with that new gas truck coming out, it'd be nice to let some people know about it. And what better way to have to tell people about gas truck racing than the guy that's making all the conversion kits? So next week we're going to have Chad Parks on the show.
Yeah.
So think about your gas truck questions for him, and if you have any, and we'll talk to him about gas trucking it, maybe how he got into RC, that kind of thing.
Yeah, Chad Parks has been around for a very, 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 very long time. I think he's about as old as I am. And
Yeah, he is.
he's been very, very fast. Chad's one of those dudes that he doesn't travel a whole lot. So when you go to like Fastlane and he's racing, he surprises you because you're like, who the hell is this guy?
Who's Chad Darks?
Yeah, who's Chad Darks? So Chad's one of those guys that's really fast, but because he doesn't travel a whole lot anymore, especially, you could be really, you could be brand new within the last 5 years, go to Fastlane for the first time and get your butt handed to you, pretty quickly. So
yeah, when if he ever takes me out at a race again, because I remember the last time, I'm gonna be like Chad Darks. I'm gonna call him Chad Darks, like that South Park episode.
South Park episode where it's
the skiing.
Stan
Darsh.
Darsh with the 80s montage. You need
Yeah.
a montage. We're gonna do a montage. Montage.
And was it pizza, French fries?
Pizza, French fries. They used that montage song twice. They used it in that episode, and then they used it in Team America World Police.
Yeah.
I thought that was very funny.
And if you pizza when you should have, or if you French fried when you should have pizza,
You're gonna have
gonna
a bad time. That's wonderful.
Mhm.
Another quick announcement. Now that we got done with the things, and we'll try to get to questions here. But the ProTech Spring Champs, April 23rd through the 25th. It's official. Got a hold of the guys at ProTech /AMain, and we've been trying to get them to be title sponsor for this race ever since the TLR Cup went away. And they were kind of reluctant because our ProTech, honestly, we hadn't been ordering. We order a lot of ProTech, but even back then I thought we did. But now our store's full of ProTech stuff because it actually works good. And
it works really good.
There's a couple of reasons why. It works really good. They have a lot of stuff for a lot of different things, but, let's say like on the nitro side, clutch bells, clutches, air filters that you can get almost cheaper than the other stuff. But like we have a whole aisle of screws now that are under the ProTech label, right? And I like ProTech batteries a lot. I use them exclusively in my stuff. I like ProTech servos. I use them exclusively in my stuff. It's a lot of stuff that we never could really get back in the day. You can now get under that AMain /ProTech label. So they sponsored the Syndicate last year, and then we kind of had to move the Syndicate because of the J Concepts race, and now they're definitely title sponsor of our spring race. So now that race will forever be known as the ProTech race.
Nice. That'd be cool.
Yes. So pretty happy about that. The history of that race, it was the Novak race, and then Novak went away in 2016, unfortunately. And now and then it was a TLR Cup for a year, and then it was just the Hobbyplex champs, and now it's the ProTech race.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
Got the flyer out. I actually meant to, that's one thing I actually forgot to do was send it to like Live RC and stuff like that. I can do it tomorrow though. It's not a huge deal.
Yeah, just do it tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you want to roll through these questions real fast? Or is there anything else we need to talk about before we get going?
Not that I can think of. Can you think of anything?
No, not really.
Okay.
Okay. Let's move up. Let's see. Spring Champs. Is it only mini T's, not B's? No, we're going to have a mini T melee. It's open to any two-wheel drive mini T or mini B. Brushless, brushed, I don't care. Basically, we're going to be doing a raffle that weekend or whatever, and then the money that we get from the raffle is going to go to the Dash for Cash and the mini T melee. So, and we can have up to 20 cars all at once. I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good video, too.
Yeah.
When you build an RC, this is from KW. When you build an off-road 10-scale buggy, do you or I use a setup station?
No.
Nope, I sure don't.
I use the J Concepts camber gauge and ride height gauge. That would be my setup station.
And a flat board or our tech table works really good at the Plex. We have a really nice kind of tech area, and it's definitely flat. I've actually measured it with a
flatness gauge.
No, what
A
level?
level?
A level. I've actually used a level on it. It's definitely flat. Not saying that setup stations wouldn't be cool, but it's kind of for 10-scale cars probably overkill. It's a 10.
Well, I mean,
it's an on-road thing.
So your off-road buggy's like jumping 6 feet in the air, and even if it lands, it's probably gonna knock all that stuff out just a little bit every time. You know, I mean, it's just the way it is. You tumble that thing once, better put it on the setup station. You know,
it's like 12 scale. You hit something. Whoop,
yeah.
There goes your tweak.
Mm-hmm.
What else? What else are you gonna add to that?
Nothing.
No.
I probably wouldn't spend the money on a setup station for off-road personally.
You can use that money on tire warmers.
You can spend that money on tires. Save your money, buy tires.
Yeah, that's true.
Just buy tires.
Let's see. How come four-wheel drive buggy never caught, or front-wheel drive buggy never caught on?
It would be another class.
Yeah, that too. You know,
I think it does look cool, that ORB car.
It does look cool. I wonder how it jumps.
Probably.
The other thing too, did you know that in ROAR and IFMAR rules, that front-wheel drive would actually run with four-wheel drive cars?
Yeah.
So you can actually show up at a track with a front-wheel drive, that cool front-wheel drive buggy, and officially it's supposed to go and race with the four-wheel drive cars.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not out of the question. That'd be a huge controversy though, if like somebody did make a super awesome front-wheel drive car, and it won like worlds.
Yeah.
Could you imagine everybody's face melting?
Yeah, it'd be like, man, we wasted our time for this long on this.
Yeah.
For how long on this?
Oh, which reminds me, I just saw that IFMAR just canceled. They made it official.
Yeah.
And they just canceled the worlds, the Nitro 8-scale worlds in Brazil, and the 10-scale electric on-road worlds wherever they were being held at.
Yeah.
So
that's a bummer.
Kind of a bummer, but honestly, they keep choosing countries like Argentina and Brazil that have really goofy entry laws, and they could basically hold you for ransom until you give them money to get your stuff. That's what happened in Argentina. Live RC had to pay an extraordinary amount of money to the corrupt, basically like customs agents there. Like they had to pay the customs agents money to get their stuff. It wasn't going to the government. It was going to the customs agents.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I never heard that story.
Yeah. That happened to a lot of our guys that went to that race specifically. That I heard customs was a nightmare because it was like, you got to give me money to get your stuff. Like that doesn't sound.
How much money was it?
It was a lot. I think it was a couple grand. I might be wrong on that.
What?
Yeah, I might be wrong on that, but I think that's what it was.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's like nothing you can do about it.
No, there isn't.
It's terrible.
Yeah,
we're supporting your economy by coming to have this race here, and then we're just going to get night-sticked by
basically
for no reason.
Yeah. Dude, I watch enough. I used to watch. I admit that I subscribed to the Watch People Die subreddit when it was on Reddit, and a lot of those videos were from Brazil of just random acts of violence. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not saying they're all like that, because I mean, you could go to certain U.S. cities and it might be like that too. But dude, like that's scary.
Yeah,
you know, I don't know.
It's terrible.
Anywho, Bender wants to know, what can I use that doesn't eat through my tires? Because on Saturday I used PB Blaster and ate through my brand new set of tires for tire sauce.
Oh,
Well, I mean, you could try Liquid Wrench. In my testing, I've noticed that Liquid Wrench doesn't wear out the tires as much as PB Blaster. However, I also know that if you leave PB Blaster on for too long, that's one way to kill your tires really quick.
yeah. I don't know. Like I ran a new set on my car, and that's just me pulling the throttle, and they still have some life left in them after an entire, like 3 practice runs and 2 heats in a main.
Like I generally put that stuff on about 3 races before mine, about 15 minutes. And that's
really all you need.
That's about as long as I go. If you leave them on for longer, I think that's how you get to that point where they start to swell almost, and then they really, really wear out the tires.
Well, it's almost like when they grind, or like when they just like melt off like that, they're not gripping as well either. So it's like sometimes you use like a sauce that isn't going to grip as well, or it doesn't grip as well, and it wears the tires worse because they're just spinning and grinding the tread off.
Yeah.
So it's like I use PB Blaster. I mean, try Liquid Wrench, WD-40, things like that. But
yeah.
I think that maybe the timing is
maybe just try to get.
essence.
I would say just try to get the timing down a little bit better, especially because he's racing stock. It shouldn't burn through tires that quickly.
You should be able to run tires for
like a month.
while.
Yeah,
I would think.
All right, Mad Thunder 2 is lighter fluid good traction compound.
Not on our dirt.
Not on our dirt. Yeah, it's mainly an on-road thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's usually used as a cleaner. But I try. Do you remember that giant bag I used to have that I'd bring to the track with me when I was working on sauce?
Oh, no.
I had that. It was like a big duffel bag, and it was completely full of different bottles and different stuffs.
Oh.
And then I had like 20 sets of tires in it, all with that dedicated sauce on it and nothing else, to try to find things that would work.
Yeah.
And lighter fluid didn't cut it.
Oh.
So, I mean, you could try it if you want, but it's not going to work.
Yeah. Peter Renault made cheesesteak.
Nice.
That sounds good. I'm actually really hungry because of my bike ride thing. Now I'm hungry.
Yeah.
John Haas broke a spur gear in warm up in his 4-wheel drive. That's why he wasn't there. Lance's transmitter battery died. I've been there. Jason Haley for Will. Do I need a metal idler gear and metal diff gear for gas truck?
It's funny you mentioned that.
I would say idler gear for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
I think Robinson Racing makes those. They might. I mean, that they're always the go-to, but I think that, and we can talk about this next week, but I think that that's something that Chad's going to have for the T6.2 or T6 series gas truck that would fit in there. But because that was always because the engine I have, and I actually just found this out today, I didn't even know. I'm running that TG, and in my GT2, the last time I raced that, you remember? Like, I had like 5 laps up on the field, something like that. I had a TQ'd, race in hand, going down the straightaway, pulled throttle, and stripped the transmission in that GT2.
Yeah, been there.
And so there's that TG engine that you can get through Chad. I think I don't know if he's taken pre-orders for it yet or not, but I think that you can get it through him. It's like $230 if I remember right. And that engine is 0.88 horsepower. And the engine I'm running, the TZ, is 1.5 horsepower. It's like double.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm kind of wondering if I need to get a TG engine. That, or I think Chad's, I don't know. I mean, I kind of like the nostalgia of that engine too.
Yeah.
I mean, that thing's bad to the bone.
But yeah, just my experience, definitely either gear. Like I told that story about the Nats I went to in 2005 where I was in a bump spot. I was about to get up into the D main of gas truck, and I ripped I got on the throttle and my truck went and came to a rolling stop.
Well, and the fun, the thing is that transmission will handle a 4.5 in a buggy on carpet.
Yeah.
Or like even on dirt. I ran my two-wheel truck with a 5.5, but I think it has to do with the power delivery, because it's like that clutch, it doesn't engage until so many RPM, and the clutch is better than the one that comes with Chad's truck or the Ignite truck. That's a 3-shoe clutch. The one we were running back then were those the nylon 2-shoe ones that you have to like take a Dremel and cut the nylon down to change the stall.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And and that one, I mean, it was like you pull the throttle, it's like pow, right in the kisser. Like, it just like all that bang goes straight through the transmission. And it's probably why it would strip gears, but and my GT2 has been broken since then. I never fixed it.
Oh.
I was so dejected. It's still sitting up there, and I have all the parts to fix it. I just never fixed it.
Okay, so that's a good answer. What's a good substitute for lips golds on Truggy, mini Truggy? John's front golds are almost slicks. Silvers. I mean, that's what I'm gonna end up doing. Actually, for the spring champs, silvers will probably be pretty good because the track will be newer, or the track will be new. So silvers work really good at our place when the track is brand new. So
yeah.
Either that, or if you're not devoted to brand, you could do clay compound positrons. So, Steve RC wants to know, is there a good place we can see the points for triple scoop? I forgot to post them Saturday. I'm dumb. So I need to maybe I'll go to the track tonight, grab the computer, and see if I can get it going. Here's one. This is probably, because I work in a hobby store, this is probably one for me. Guys, I am confused in a dilemma with the following options: Red Cat Volcano, EPX Pro Brushless, Arma Centon 550 brushed, Traxxas / 2-wheel drive brushed, or Volesi Desert Truck 2-wheel drive brushed. So, if you're going to take those 4 cars, I've never heard of or maybe it's Losi Desert Truck 2-wheel drive brushed. Losi Desert Truck 2-wheel drive brushed. I don't think there is a 2-wheel drive brushed one. I would say, honestly, the Volcano is a pretty good option because it's brushless, and you can buy them for almost the same price as an Arma Centon or Slash brushed, as long as you have part support for it, and as long as you, how do I put this nicely, are okay with there being a slight flip of the coin as to whether or not, I don't know if I should say that. Should I say that? Yeah, whatever.
I don't know what you're.
Basically it's a flip of the coin if it's gonna work or not.
Yeah,
I'm trying not to laugh because I'm breathing weird because of my bike experience. So, but I'm looking for fun, durability, and spare stock. These options are very similar price range. What do you recommend? So
I'd go with that Traxxas.
Yeah, I was gonna say either the Arma Centon or the Traxxas Slash. It depends on if you have. I think Mauricio's from Columbia. I think he's our guy from Columbia. So I'm not sure what you have down there for local support. You know, but
so if you have a hobby shop, whatever they carry at the hobby shop is what I would go with. And honestly, like even if you go like through A Main or something like that. A Main's probably always going to have Traxxas stuff. And the cool thing about that platform is it hasn't changed in forever.
Yeah, 2008 was when it came out, and it hasn't changed at all.
So there's a lot of aftermarket parts you can get, RPM stuff, maybe more durable.
What I tell people at the store is everybody and their mom makes parts for it.
Yeah. So, I mean, as far as like if you're not planning on racing, I mean, none of those are really race vehicles, but the Slash, like you could still kind of race it in the Plex, like a beginner class or something if you ever had organized racing to go to.
Yeah.
I just think that it's kind of the end all beat all as far as pick something up. Everything's in the box.
And I think
take it home and run it.
I think I'm, and the other thing too is I think Red Cat stuff is getting a lot better than where it was even just 5 years ago.
Yeah,
because Red Cat stuff used to be that stuff that would come into the store and you'd be like, oh no, and somebody had bought it online and then it doesn't work at all, and they're trying to get us out to get it fixed for them. It's really not like that anymore. I'm also very surprised. Not surprised, I guess, but I've also been learning that Red Cat is very, very popular too outside of the United States. It's very popular in the United States, period, but outside of the United States, even it's even bigger. So if you have access to the Red Cat stuff, the fact that comes with a brushless motor is probably your best bet as far as value goes.
Yeah,
you know.
Right.
Okay. So hopefully we helped you out with that. In the end, you got to make the decision, but that's kind of where I'm at. So, Nick wants to know, as popular as four-wheel drive class is, have you thought about splitting it in an expert and independent? I have. If I was going to do something like that, we would have just an independent series again, which we might end up doing here, maybe next fall. But other than that, it's two-wheel drive buggy still. Usually, if you took independent and you took expert and you put them together and you got rid of the guys that are running both, it would still be the bigger class. So that's the one that I divide up. Just got a B74. Is the box stock setup good for the Plex track? That's all you.
I think so, and it's definitely a good place to start. I mean, it'll get it around the track fine.
Yeah.
And I mean, if it's your first four wheel, that's kind of all you really need is just to learn how to drive that animal. Yep. I'd start with the box stock setup and work from there and and just change things on it that you need for your driving style.
Yep.
You know.
Jason Haley, are we calling it gas truck or motor truck? Well, motor is electric.
Yeah. It's gas truck.
It's definitely gas truck. Even though we don't technically use gas. Even though we technically don't use actual gas. That's one thing that Roar was always funny about. They wouldn't call gas truck. They called it 1/10 fuel truck because you're actually putting fuel into it. But it's still gas truck. We've always called it gas truck. We'll just leave it at that.
It's gas truck.
Yeah, when you say gas truck, everybody knows what gas truck is. Keegan Ruskamp, is there ever an 8-scale e-buggy, e-truggy class at the Plex? Not normally. Buggy, yes. Truggy, not really. Hardly anybody local has one. And I've been asked over and over again to put in the Techno Series, and the last time I did that, like 3 people showed up. So that's why I'm reluctant to add it to the Techno Series. Plus, we don't need any more classes at the Techno Series. The day is long enough as it is, and it's hard. It's hard enough to get giveaways for everything. So. But I mean, if like on a Friday night, if we had like 4 guys show up with truggies, e-truggies, we'd totally run them. You know, Techno Series, no, sorry, we already have too many classes. I think that's about it. That's all the questions we got. So that's good. We're right at 90 minutes. That's where everyone need to be. Plus the first like 6 minutes of this is just us bull crapping back and forth. I can't say the other one, but back and forth. So.
It certainly is.
Yeah. Okay, so there you go. I'm gonna go home and I'm going to take a hot shower and I'm gonna try to talk my wife into massaging my leg, even though I know she'll say no. She's not into
that. How many viewers did we have tonight?
Hey, we got up to 31.
Really?
Yeah. We'll try again next. We'll try again next week.
Tell your friends.
Yeah, next week we'll try to go for 50 at the same time. I got this little thing down here and it says watching now, and as soon as that pegs up to 50, gift card. Until then, we'll just hold that out there. We'll hold it as a carrot.
Yeah.
So.
Maybe this is the week before we get 50.
Yeah,
we tell people about it.
Yeah,
we'll get 50.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, no after hours this week. If you're watching this and you watch the after hour show, because I'll be working on the dirt track Thursday night. I got some stuff to do tomorrow, but I'm going to actually change that triple on Thursday night and Friday afternoon. So
You should call it like you working on the track and call it overtime.
overtime. Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
I could just run a live stream of the track work. I guess I could do that.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever. Okay, well, thanks to Pivot Lending Group for being our sponsor that keeps us able to come weekly to you. And you can find them at pivotlending.com. And if you mention our show to Don Zoller or Aiden Olson's dad, you can get a $500 lender credit or 0.125 off your interest rate if you go through with home loan or refinance. And that'll do it for tonight. Of course, this is always brought to you by the Hobbyplex, of course, because we're the Hobbyplex show. And then we're doing this in Webrise Studios. So if you want to do your own podcast, get a hold of webrise.com and schedule some time.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for me. I got to go to the bathroom really bad. So I'm going to sign off. Say see ya.